Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jerome. I'm the founder of Mutual Gainz, TCG. This is my first episode for YouTube, and basically, I'm just trying to get myself out there. So, I've been selling on TCGPlayer now for about 1 week, and here is basically how I'm doing things. If you guys would like to like and subscribe, that'll definitely help the channel. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so for the content, we're going to go over how we started, why we chose TCGPlayer.com, breakdown by phase, our current phase, our systems, and our goal. All right, how we started. So, some context to this. Uh, I actually didn't sell on Facebook Marketplace between this time. We were moving from Guam to Colorado, and we didn't. My wife and I didn't have enough income to help us with the move. It was a PCS move. The military helped us out, but in terms of transitioning over from Guard Reserve to active duty, it took a while for us to get paid. So what I had to do was I gave my personal collection to one of my best friends who's been selling Pokemon cards for a very long time on Facebook Marketplace, and he was able to go out and sell my stuff for me, and basically gave me the money for it, and that's what helped us out, and gave me an idea like, okay, well, this is definitely something that I can use as a side hustle or to build a business with, and that's kind of just what I did. So I think it was around June, July, I started selling on Whatnot last year, and we were doing really well. We had at least 15 to 30, sometimes even 50 people on our stream just buying us out, and it was just a great time. But things kind of changed when my work schedule started getting more hectic and I wasn't able to stream anymore. And I'm not the type of person who would want to schedule a stream and not be able to make it. So I had to hold off on that. And it was funny because our our stream was called Mutual Gains as well. I just really liked the name, and so I kept it. So next one would be a few months later. I started selling at Pikes Peak Card Show. This was about February of 20 of this year, and I really fell in love with it. I fell in love with the community. That was my first show. That was the first show I've ever been to, and I just wanted to test the waters. So that's what I did. I tested the waters. I had a good setup. I borrowed a friend's display case and was able to go from there. Afterwards, I signed up for the Denver Card Show, which was earlier this month, and we did really well. We learned a lot of different things about the market. We've learned a lot of different things about like how big these venues are and how crazy it could be. And the one thing that I wanted to try doing when I sold at the show was build enough capita to start my business in mutual gains on TCGPlayer. So that's what I did. So people would come to my table, I would give them an offer for their cards, and they were able to sell me their cards and their collections. So shows are a really good place to basically work with other people to sell and to buy. And that's what I learned in those 3 days. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so why we chose TCGPlayer. Um, so it has a variety of ages. So from kids to adults, people who grew up playing Pokemon and when it first came out. I was one of those people. I'm a '90s kid. I started playing again back when Scarlet and Violet base set came out, and that's when I started collecting again. But I never stopped playing the games. I never stopped playing the Pokemon Go. I never stopped playing the TCGPlayer online. So I was basically doing everything digital. I never did anything on the physical portion till probably like what 2021. All right. Purchasing capabilities. I really like TCGPlayer primarily because it has online payment services. It has credit card and debit cards, and it does everything for me, just like the other platforms. But in comparison to selling at shows, you're consistently dealing with cash, you're consistently dealing with different types of pay systems and fees. I'm not saying TCGPlayer doesn't allow fees. It's just knowing exactly what your fee is in comparison to different platforms is a lot easier. I also like it because it continuously updates. When you get new sets, you're able to know exactly what the prices is, the market price of this. It just consistently updates. I have to update my prices probably like twice a week, primarily because I'm tier one. Once I get to tier four, that's when things will change. I can easily just make it a certain percentage of market, or make it at market, if that makes sense. Location, you can really just ship anywhere, or start anywhere. Um, I'm starting off here in the U.S. and I plan on only ship to the U.S. primarily because it's cheaper in comparison to shipping overseas. The archetype of it is very tech savvy. It's very user friendly. A lot of things on TCGPlayer, they have guidebooks for it, so all you gotta do is just read it, so you can understand how to condition the cards. You can understand how to ship the cards, and basically how to use any of the tools that they have. All right, let's move on to needs and motivations. So what do the customers want, right? Customers want a variety of different things. They want to collect for a Pokédex. They want to collect for a master set. They want to collect for their decks that they are using to play. If you haven't noticed, we're going to be moving from category H to category I in April, so that's literally in 2 weeks from the time of the recording of this video. And a lot of people go on TCGPlayer and they will buy the certain cards they need for their decks. Um, what motivates you to sell on TCG? Like I said, let's go ahead and move on to this portion over here for that. Simplicity. The site is very easy to use. It's very easy to put the cards you want to place in, because it allows you to do a Dropbox of what set it is and what's the name of the card and what's the code for the card on the bottom left or bottom right, depending on the age of the card. Work-life balance. I'm able to turn on and off my store whenever I need to, especially when I go to the field or if I'm TDY somewhere else. So I can just turn it off without having to clear my inventory, or without having to stop my store entirely. Credibility. TCGPlayer has been around for a long time. It is basically what we use, other than collector, to price out what we have. So the fact that the website that we primarily use for pricing is the website that I use for selling, and it's just really easy to use. All right, pain points. So here are some pain points for selling on TCGPlayer. So what are my current limitations? Well, I'm tier one, so I'm only allowed to inventory up to 100 cards, and I'm not allowed to have a single card that's worth over $100, which is fine. Um, it's okay. So that right there, I have to be very specific of what kind of cards I want to sell. So that's where the understanding of what the customer wants comes in. So I primarily just sell um, cards that are going to be played, and cards that are preferably under $5 to $10, um, and under $1 for these decks. So like EXs, SRs, SIRs, promos, hollows, reverse hollows, Cosmo hollows. So those are the types of cards I sell, and they've been eating up fast. I've only been selling on this platform since March 8. It's March 15 already, and I've already had over $400 in sales. And by the time of the recording of this video, I've already had 15 orders. So if you don't know the tiers, I'll go ahead and walk you through it for the next slides. So how long will I have these restraints? So um, thankfully, the thankfully I've already made enough sales and orders to get me to tier three. So I'm skipping tier two entirely, and I'm able to have up to 50,000 in my inventory. So I would give myself another 2 weeks. So by the next recording, I'll be tier 2 or tier 3. How do I compete with the newer and older sellers? Well, I start off by selling at probably like 5% to 10% below market, and I put my shipping costs at the lowest for envelopes at 99 cents. And that's basically what I do is um, I keep it very simple and very easy. I um, I print out my own labels. So that way when I get something, people will see like, okay, this person, you'll see this label right here, and you'll see thank you for supporting Mutual Gains. So I'm currently eating the cost of what I'm selling just by by trackings, by stamps, and by labels, which is okay because you gotta invest yourself in order to build a business. Shipping cost. So I like to use stamps.com. Uh, it's you can easily print the labels onto the where's it at? Onto the envelope itself without actually buying stamps. And that right there saves me a trip to going to the USPS or ordering online or to another third party. I also like to use labels. I have a label maker, um, and I order all my labels for tracking purposes for any purchase over $20, just because that's what TCGPlayer requires you to do in order for any purchase over $20. Um, is I go to Pirate Ship and I would put in the address there and purchase the label and have it print on my label maker, and I'll save like $3 in comparison to USPS or UPS. Item cost per shipping. So I like to put every I like to put my cards in penny sleeves, regardless if they're hollows or non-hollows. Like again, I'm trying to build a rapport with my customers. And I'm trying to give them the best service they can because I am competing against other people. So I have penny sleeves, top loaders, semi-rigid holders, uh, uh, sealed, being able to seal the top loaders and the cards so that way there's no water gets into them. And of course, a nice little sticker that shows my business. And once I hit pro, I can put a QR code on there so that way I can get more people to come to my site. So what do you need to start off? You need envelopes, bulk mailers. You can get the envelopes with the little windows on the bottom left or not. That's why I use stamps.com so I can just print it directly on the envelope so it looks cleaner. You want a account on stamps.com and Pirate Ship. You want a printer. Thankfully, my job requires me to have a printer, and I just use what I already had. The only thing I had to buy was a label printer and a sorting tray. Sorting trays are absolutely amazing. So I would use something like this as a sorting tray, and it would allow me to separate each card by set. After I separate by set, I'll separate it by alphabet. You also want boxes. I have a lot of ETB boxes that I basically use to sort each one by set, or I just simply just put it by the set they're in. So if it's a Surging Spark set, I'll just put Surging Sparks only into that ETB. All right, so we're gonna go break down by phase. I'm not gonna read this whole thing to you. So phase one, I basically use account setup on TCGPlayer, account setup on YouTube, account setup on Facebook, account setup on Pirate Ship and stamps.com, and then initial inventory and supplies. So I was able to get top loaders, penny sleeves, card guards, and shipping envelopes during this phase right here. So it took me a while to build this up. So the week prior to me actually opening the store, so 0 week, I guess you can call it, was me just buying the supplies I need. Um, and that right there helped me out a lot.
I'll be down.
Next one is listing your first cards. So this right here allows me to uh, goes back to what do the customers want. So focusing on listings by set to help buyers complete their master sets. will allow me to reach level 2 faster. And it did. It was it was really that simple. Um, Next step was to achieve level 2. I'm more than likely going to skip level 2. But the only thing that I'm worried about is the expected delivery days coming in on time and having a high 80% uh, feedback or higher. And the reason why that's important is a lot of times, or sometimes, customers want to will purchase a near mint card, and then they'll come to them and it's lightly played. That's where reading the guide on TCGPlayer for conditioning is very important, and taking pictures of all your stuff, all the stuff that you um, package and deliver. So that way, the because shipping happens, there's shipping, cards move around depending on how it's handled, and the card will come out like a little like whitening on the side because it's mushed together with another card. So that's why I separate by penny sleeves. So I'm not really worried about it, but it does happen. All right, phase two. For this right here, now that I have a little more experience, I can expand my inventory. For phase two, you're allowed up to 500 items. And in inventory management, I would designate at least Friday to take inventory of my supplies and restock as needed. This will ensure I'm always ready to ship orders. I do have a system of how I do it. I would like to, as soon as I would get the items, I would separate it by set, and I would separate it alphabetically. Achieve level 3 is the next step for that. That requires me to have at least 11 orders or more, and I already did. And I will get the feedback from those orders, and hopefully they're good, so I can at least hit tier 3 by before the end of the month. All right, for phase 3, scaling your business. With a higher inventory limit, you can start to think about more advanced tools and process to streamline your operations. That's where I was supposed to do YouTube um, at phase 3, but I decided to just start a little bit earlier because I believe I will hit phase 3 and phase 4 faster. Standardize your process. I already did that. I already document everything I do through videos and through separate folders on my computer. That's why I created so many separate accounts on my social media so that way I can compartmentalize my things so I know what belongs to Mew-Tual Gainz, what belongs to Jerome. So I don't ever mix the two. And then, of course, achieve level 4. Next one is unlocking advanced features on level 4. So by the time I get here, I want to optimize my workflow by purchasing the Roca sifter. And then, of course, have custom shippings and advanced tools. So custom shipping, putting my stickers on to where I need, where I would like them. And then advanced tools, allowing myself to um, basically import and export CSVs into TCGPlayer, so that way I don't have to like manually do everything. Phase 5, I would like to go pro and get my own website. That way I can put the QR code onto every mail and put it at the card show. So whenever time I work with people, I'll just give them a business card with my QR code. That way I can get my name out there. So not only will they buy my inventory at the card show, they'll be able to see my online store. And of course, automation, hire help to automate tasks. Um, I'm looking at that in the future, so we'll see how that goes. All right, phase 6 will be reinvest in growth. It's just everything that I profit from this business will go straight back into it. I'm not going to use my personal income from my job. I would just reinvest everything back into it. All right, so what's our current phase? My current phase right now is phase 1. I'm still getting started. I was able to organize the week prior, this week, and this weekend as well. So I was able to sort through things, get everything ready, and I've already been selling since the beginning of uh, March 8th. All right, so what are my systems? So first one is building inventory. As you can see, I have about a little over 50,000 cards in bulk. I got commons, hollows, reverse hollows, EXs in these boxes right here. I then organized it by set, as you can see, and then I would alphabetize each set. I would then put each set alphabetized into the binder, and I'll put three of each. I know the standard gameplay is four, but just for sanity's sake, I would just put it in here. This right here will allow me to uh, pull cards for orders a lot faster, and then by the end of the day, I'll be able to go back to my sets that I put over here, alphabetized, and refill those binders. That way, I have a faster system in place. Um, I will also separate alphabetized sets in individual binders. So each individual binder will have different sets. So you'll have Journey Together, Decimal Rivals, Black and White, Prismatic Evolution, Phantasmal Flames, and Mega Evolutions. And then I'll organize shipping products. So my shipping products are all in here. These will be, this right here is the penny sleeves, card guards. This right here is uh, what do you call those again? Top loaders, and this one right here is more penny sleeves. Afterwards, printing and labeling, I have more. I have right here, I have bulk mailers, and over here I have regular envelopes. And then you'll see my printer and my label maker. So our goal right now is tier 1 to tier 3. So successfully sell and ship 2 to 11 orders with 80% positive feedback rating to move from tier 1 to tier 2 or 3. I'm gonna get there, preferably or hopefully before the end of this month. Then tier 4 for phase 2 will be April, and then expand inventory will be basically throughout the next few years. The reason why I put 2030 is because I retire from the military with 20 years in October 2030. So I'm hoping to build this business and make it full time as I transition back into being a civilian or just retiring in general. And thank you guys for watching. So what to look forward to our next video is my tier 2 or 3 videos and how I basically go about that. How do I organize? I'm going to go specific in detail how I organize. How much does each shipment cost? I know I said that in the beginning of this video, but I will go ahead and go into more detail. And where do I get my inventory? So thank you guys. Please support my channel. Have a good day.